Yeah, we're good? Okay, cool. I'm in your javaz, haxxing your codes. The story of Dilton. So the first hack I want to talk about is a public speaking hack. This is the most awkward photo of myself I can find. I'm 13 years old. And I'm showing you this now because nothing I say in the next 10 minutes is going to be more embarrassing than that. So, onwards. About a year ago, I saw this dialogue pop up. And this is from a program called Little Snitch, which is a Mac firewall. And you basically set it up, and then whenever any program on your computer makes a connection, it says, hey, this program is trying to connect here. Do you want to let it? So let's look at that closely. And it's connecting to repo.maven.apache.org on port 80, which is HTTP. So for some context, Maven is a Java build tool. It's what's going to be, and Maven Central, which is what repo.maven.apache.org is the central repository of all of your Java libraries. So if you're using Maven for Java, or SBT for Scala, or Line for Clojure, you're pulling some of the stuff from there. And there's this company called Sonatype, which, as a service to the community, hosts Maven Central, which is an expensive thing to do. There's 900,000 different Java artifacts on there. It's probably a lot of megabytes of space. And they have this policy where if you wanted to download stuff encrypted over SSL, you had to give them $10. The $10 would then be donated to the Apache Foundation. I don't know why they have this policy, and I like to yell at brands on the internet, so I asked them why they have this policy, and they said that all features of all products are not free. SSL is offered with Nexus Pro and OSS. For those wishing for security, we offer that. Okay, that made me sad. So I decided to do something about it. And there is a well actually here that you might be thinking, because you're downloading Java libraries. Maybe they're all cryptographically signed, and so even though they're being downloaded over HTTP, we'll still check the signature, and that's just not true. Some of them are signed, but then the signature is not really checked by Veytsman. So we're all good. So here's what we want to do. I want to somehow proxy when I download a new library. I decided to start a new project. I want to download a bunch of library. I want to proxy that, and then I want to put evil stuff in those jars, and I want to make sure that the evil stuff actually runs on your machine. And I want it to not break things too much. I mean, I want to break things, but I want it to not really break things. So first of all, we need to somehow proxy the developer when they're downloading a new library. You could set up a router, in a place where there's a lot of programmers. Use IP tables to forward all the traffic to a program that you wrote, which you can do. There's what I did is there's an XML file that Maven uses, and you can set the proxy property. So then we want to actually replace the jar. And there's this amazing library called, there's an amazing tool called MITM proxy, which is an intercepting HTTP proxy. You point your browser at it, it takes all the requests, and you can edit them. And they have a library that they release as well, which makes it literally this easy to modify traffic. You write one method, and it gets this flow object, and that has the request. And I look at the request, and I say if it's coming from repo1.maven.org, and it's a jar, put something evil in it. So then we want to get our code to inside of that. So let's say I wrote some evil Java. I made a package, I can do something evil. To get it in a jar that I intercepted is pretty easy. A jar is just a zip file. So all I have to do is compile that Java into a class, take that class, put it in the zip file, and then send the zip file away. So the next step is I need to somehow actually modify the other code in that jar in order to get it to run. So there's this library called Krakatoa, which is a Python Java decompiler, disassembler, and assembler. And it's written by the GitHub username of the author is Storyyeller, and I think it's an awesome tool, but I couldn't find out who they were. But storyyeller.com is the website of Melville Dewell, International Library Hip-Hop Superstar. That's Melville Dewey's first album, Paper Cuts, where he raps it. So I'm going to pretend, and I'm actually convinced that so this is how you use it. It's a really nice library. It's not really written to be used like as anything other than a command line tool. So I just kind of copy and pasted a bunch of code. But really what matters is that you like disassemble some Java, and then you put more Jasmine in, and then you assemble it back. And what Jasmine is, it's a way to like write down Java bytecode in something that looks like assembly syntax. So this is the evil Java that we want. And how many of you have seen that static thing, like just like that, bare in Java? Because I never did, and it took me like 3 days to figure out how to do this. Because what I really want is like, I don't know what class you're going to load. And I want, when you load some class into memory, I want it to execute my code without like you actually like, having to call a function. And I really wanted a class initializer, which in Java are called static blocks, as some of you know, which I didn't. It took me forever to find out. But I figured it out, and so now whenever you import the class and it gets loaded into memory, that static block gets executed, and my backdoor runs. And in Jasmine, it's just like the Java bytecode, and it's just like invoke static that method. So what I do is I write a class, I put it in the zip file as a jar, and I also like inject a little bit of Java bytecode into a class that you're going to use when you use the library that I backdoored. Which class? All of the classes. So I just put that bytecode in every single class in the jar, and hope for the best. You'll probably use one of them if you're using the jar. I don't want to break things too much, though. So in my evil backdoor, I just like check if it ran, and if it did, I don't do anything, but I'll do it at least once. So let's actually watch the video. Is this going to work? Yes. So I wrote an awesome hello world that uses JOTA-time to print the time and also say hello world. And I'm typing very slowly for some reason. So it runs, and you can see the bottom of the screen. It says the current local time, and it says hello world. And then I'm going to go open a terminal and delete JOTA-time from my system. As I slowly type out what I'm doing. my apologies. I recorded this video without a talk, and I can't really do this anymore, as you will find out soon. So I have to use this video. So I delete it, and then I go back to IntelliJ, and I run. I do Maven install, so it's going to download this thing. And you can see that I'm backdooring every single class in JOTA-time. One of them is the one that I use to figure out what time it is to tell you when I tell you hello world. And when I go and I run this code again, there it is, it's loaded again. Come on, Max, run the code. They already know. Why are you so slow? Yes. So we successfully put a lolcat in Java updates. So the epilogue is HTTPS support launching now. With an extremely short turnaround time. And I have to give it to them. That blog post in the video was July 28th. This blog post is August 4th. So it is an extremely short turnaround time. So good job. Thank you.